Hey folks, welcome back to Atlantis, and you join me sometime later in game, quite a long time later in the real world, and I guess we'll address that first. The last video, if you're a Timberborn fan, you will have seen I was speaking about the fact that I was going away for a few days with the family for, did I mention it was my daughter's graduation? I don't remember, anyway, that's what it was. After that, basically the whole family got ill with some sort of virus or bug or whatever. So last week I was off work for pretty much half the week. And then the energy that I had from starting back up, I put into work mostly. And then at the weekend, although I was feeling better, we had plans again, and we were out on Saturday night, and that kind of sucked a whole load of my energy. Get your minds out of the gutter. We were at a music event. So yeah, that's why in real world there's been quite a lot of time. In game, I'm not sure how many cycles have passed, but we've made quite a lot of progress, and there have been some significant changes. So we're back. So let's show you what's changed externally on the colony. So there's a lot of roof now, which is the first thing that you'll notice. The observant of you will also notice that the water level's quite a lot lower, and it's causing some issues in that some of the food and the trees are now not irrigated. To try and help mitigate that, I opened up this and put in a fill valve. I opened up this and put in a fill valve. I put a bad water pump here because this is one of the few water sources that I didn't cover up, and when a bad tide hit, the food around all of this would die. So I did that. Down here, we put in a fill valve that's or a throttling valve that's actually accessible, and it's set to unlimited at the moment to try and get all of the water possible out of here. Because I've done too much. And then if we head inside here, I had enclosed this water source. I think I did that between videos. I put a throttling valve in. I don't remember why when I built it, but I've actually got that fully open. But then we'll be able to close it when a bad tide comes. I put a throttling valve here so that we can get more water, and actually it's still not enough, so we might need to build some more. So yeah, that's kind of the water situation at the moment. We are using more water than we're letting in. That's a good thing, because we might be able to open up more water sources. Some of you may or may not remember, the goal is to have to not have all of the water sources covered like I've got them. I think it's probably worth us unplanting a few of these and maybe putting in some ladders, or marking to not replant them. We can get some ladders or some stairs down here, and we can plant some of this. And I guess similarly, we could put some trees along here. So let's mark that to be demolished. And then if we can't get this water level back up, we're at least making use of more land. And maybe likewise over here. So let's unmark those. You might also have noticed that the aquatic farming is now available. So let's go inside, shall we? We do now have an aquatic farm. Because I now have control of all of the water sources inside, I took out all of the contamination barriers, and there is a bunch of planting that we can do. In terms of crops, maybe, although the return is not awesome, maybe we throw in a few more sunflowers. Just for the well-being bonus. I have also planted some dandelions so that if we want to, we can make extract. Can they get to all of that? They can. They just haven't got around to planting it all yet. Or they've harvested it, because we have actually cycled through harvesting some. So I have both Spadadoc and cattail roots growing. And we have all the processing set up for them. So what I've done is the grist mills I've handled with automation. So basically what these will do is, once we are full on wheat flour, they'll switch to cattail flour. When we get below 60% of cattail flour, they'll switch back to wheat flour. And when we are full on both, they'll pause or unpause. And I've got both of them set to do that. So that should manage that. I think I've got the bakery set up in a similar way to just automate on switching the recipes, with bread being the kind of driver of that. On the Spadadoc front, because it's been a while, I don't know if I have a grill set up. I do. Awesome. I haven't automated it yet. Possibly because we haven't actually done anything with it yet. So we'll leave that for a bit. The other thing I think we were working on before, getting the zip line. So we now have a zip line network that goes all the way around, which is kind of cool. And at the moment, because we've got the water controlled in such a way, I don't think we need to close this in yet. We still have the option to, but I'm not planning to at the moment. What I might do is build an edge up around it to protect it, because I have some cool plans. So we'll get the game rolling, and we'll see if we can sort out some of the challenges and opportunities that we have. So I only recently made the adjustments to these. We can't get to any of the others because they're underneath, but I have a long-term strategic goal. What I want to do is I want to bring this water source up through the middle here, out of here, and ultimately up to here, and then have the water from it flowing down the roof, probably down either side. So it will create essentially irrigation channels and evaporation. And at the same time, I think we bring the water from the 4 outer sources in as well. We bring it all up to here, and we then drain it down the sides, creating irrigation and evaporation, as I said. So that's one of the projects that I want to do still. That will, I think, just be cool and fun. And what I'll do is we'll do something to manage the bad water as well. Not quite decided on that yet. Down here, in fact, in here. So I'm going to take you through all of my plans for what I think we want to do to complete this. I'm going to build a water filter in here so that the slightly contaminated water that's coming in here gets filtered. So only clean water is going to come in here eventually. This might be project number 1. And then project C is I want to build something which is going to filter everything. And what I want to do is maybe somewhere out here build a bad water tank that sits kind of just slightly above / in the water, with some mechanical pumps pumping out bad water. And what we might do ultimately as a next phase of that is build over the water sources and have the bad water piped directly into that. So when it's a bad tide, the bad water's filtered, pushed straight into it. When it's good water, it goes into the sea. So those are the things that I want to do, along with having a colony which is sufficiently large that, let's get rid of you and you at this point. Yeah, along with having a colony that is sufficiently large that it is consuming the water that's available. So that we don't have to have any of this tapping of water sources. Because I think that's more in the spirit of the challenge of the map. So that's my goal. That's my goal. Right, so we can now get down here. I'm assuming once that's built, and I'm going to prioritize that because they are doing a bunch of other stuff that will then be able to farm a bunch of this. And likewise, once we can get down here. So, yeah, that's where we are. There's probably some access issues with a bunch of this. There were some issues with things like metal and things. We have now got a mine as well. Thank you to the person that pointed out that there is a mine down here. So that's good. We've now got some spadadock coming in. So does that mean we have grilled spadadock yet? Not quite. So what are we going to work on today? I think we work on the filter down here. So we only have clean water coming in. And kind of step one of that is to create the space for the filter. Which means I want to level this out because it's all kind of jagged and crazy at the moment. So that is going to involve some tunneling and some explosives. And I think step one is just getting it all to the same level as much as we can. So let's unlock the double dynamite. You in there. You probably need it there as well. Pull you down a level. Some single explosives there. And I think blowing all of that up will probably be okay. I would also like to tunnel you out. And ultimately, we need to actually get into this. So let's put you there. We'll put a path across there. Let's put some stairs there. Where? There. Right there by the stair. Let's run you to there. So you need to come out. You need to go in. That'll let them get that. And I guess if they put that tunnel in, then they can get most of that. So let's go with that for now. We've had a bunch of beavers die of old age, which happens, you know. Beavers do that. The food and water situation is much more stable now. So I have increased the population. I don't know if I have any houses paused still. I do. Let's open that one. We have a lot of injured beavers. We have 28 incapacitated beavers. We go into here. How many medical beds do we have? We have 17. So we probably want to build some more. Do we have room for more there? Not really. Not really. Now, I haven't forgotten as well the idea of a mezzanine floor. We will get to that. We will get to that. Because, you know, I think the map is very much set up for that. And we could start building that out here, actually. Let's put you there. Landscaping, dirt. Now, I'm guessing you're not going to let me put those in there because of rules. So you're a rule-tator. So we'll have to work on supporting that some other way. I mean, what we could do is just put another layer of dirt on the top because that'll let us span even further. But anyway. Back outside. So yeah, we can now plant another nice little bit. Let's come up here. Get rid of these. Get rid of the. Get rid of the. Mosh, Bosch, and if I grab you, and I'm just going to mark out with Carthage, believe it was there. Yep, and let's mark out over here. This might change actually with some of this being removed. So we'll give them a moment. And they're still doing things over there. So I think this water level is actually dropping still. I really do. Which, you know, is us showing our utter mastery of the map. Well, no, because we've kind of cheated a little bit. And maybe we want to let water out of one of the other sources that is going to start affecting our crop growth, which is why I haven't done that. Because I kind of like being able to grow crops down here. Yeah, let's start planting some potatoes, a few carrots. I should think about bots at some point, but I am wondering if we can do this all bot free. That would be kind of a first for me. It's been a while since I've done anything sans bots. Have I marked those for cutting? No, that'd be why they're all just stood there all proud and stuff. Well, now they won't be so proud. You are not reachable. Well, we can address that. There you go. Now I bet you are. Now I bet you won't be so cocky, will you, hey? Anyway, it's been a long day, folks. I apologize if things get a little random. Dirt's on the way to deal with that. And we nearly have a closed-in system. And one of the things that I think might be kind of cool is to put some monuments up here. And I guess a bunch of well-being stuff, at least temporarily, because it'll transfer down. And I guess if we place it in somewhere sensible, the beavers will benefit from it. So, yeah. I guess... Does it matter if monuments are flooded? Question mark. Because I'm wondering if I put it there... Do you know, I don't remember if it matters if monuments are flooded. Right. One of you's probably frantically typing away, you stupid man, why have you put it there? You know it's going to be a problem. But I don't remember, so, you know. Contain your rage, dear viewer, contain your rage. I do it not for your hate, but because, you know, as much as I like remembering how video games work, equally, life's busy, folks. And I don't always remember how this stuff works. I used to, but life these days means I don't. So, yeah, there's that. So that is the simple fact of things. Nothing more, nothing less. No badness intended. So I think we're going to leave that little. I'm not going to say words that will upset people. Gap. Not other words that begin with G. Gap. It's definitely a gap. And what we're going to start doing is extending upwards in an upwards direction, because that's the direction up goes. Yes, I know I could delete that little bit of impermeable floor, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to. And we're going to seal. Any Barry Lewis fans here? Anyone know who Barry Lewis is? Anyone know who the Barry Lewis is that I'm talking about? There possibly is more than one Barry Lewis in the world. You know, statistically, that name is not going to be unique. So there is a specific Barry Lewis that I'm thinking of that you might not be thinking of. You know, and we're going to put in. This is going to be a very convoluted way of getting to this, but well. If it's stupid and it works, you got it. It's not stupid. Yeah. And we're going to make a hole. So that is 69. Have you finished laughing? It's just a coordinate number, okay? 6914. Explodes. Where have the freaking explosives gone? It's because you lot were laughing. There we go. If you lot were less childish, this would be so much easier, you know? But, you know, you have to laugh at the silly numbers. So, we have found out, for everything that you lot will bloody type in, please don't crash game. You know, that'd be lovely. Thank you. So for all of that anger that you lot were typing, that monuments can be in water. So that's kind of good, you know? How many of you have got the pleasure of bonding? Pretty much all of them, to be honest. It's kind of cool, you know? Kind of cool. Got plenty of trees growing. That's nice. We've got plenty of builders. We're a little bit short on the old beaverage. How long do these take to bleed? Okay, they take that long. Fair enough. Right. You are planks, but you're not set to obtain. So let's address that. Let's address that little faux pas. And then what we're going to do is, so this is going to allow us access down to here. So we'll do a little bit of pathage. And then what we're going to do, can I do something a little bit, just a little bit, you know? Yes. I can do something a little bit. We like that. We like that. Because that means we can reopen that one. There we go. And there we go. So we then put in a platform, a ladder. Brilliant. We like that. We like that. Boom. I've still not mapped the shortcut key. And then I'm hoping that's going to let us build these from inside. I'm hoping, but I don't know if it is. So if I now go here, let me click the thing. No. Why are you not letting me build that from inside? Well, that seems bloody stupid. What if I do that? I'm somewhat confused. It won't let me do that. But again, one of you's probably going to be able to tell me why. So, as that didn't work, I'm going to try another silly idea. Which is that. See if that works. If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Remember? That should be okay. Do that. Throttling valve. Put you there. Make you a high priority build. Please and thanking you. And right, the benefit of having more water come into this bit is this will be fuller, so less water will come in from the outside, is my theory. And obviously this is clean water as well, which is good. So you flow rate of 1 meter per second is fine. Good stuff. And yeah, I'm hoping if I build this, they will then be able to build this from the inside. I guess we'll see. And then I guess what we want to think about doing, there's some viaducts, but let's get this working first. So, speed. The speed. We have resources, we have food, so yeah. We could probably do with a bigger aquatic farm, to be honest. It's not super awesome, but and yeah, well-being could be better. I know. Let's have a little peek, shall we? There are some very obvious easy wins there, actually. Let's grab some of those. So, well-being, detailer, not where they remove beaver tails before any of you worry. And we'll alternate. We'll have some gold tails and we'll have some red tails. Well-being. Yeah, dance hall in? Yeah, why not? Mud pit. Let's do a couple of those. Lido. Where would we put the Lido? Not sure where we would put the Lido. We've got some maple trees there. Someone did point out that I'd put those in accidentally. Or was it intentionally? You'll never know if it was an accident. But maybe we should put some maple trees in. Let's do that. Let's cut down you. And I think we'll put some maple trees in there. And I'm kind of curious what the random levy is. I'm not sure. Yeah, if we can get that well-being stuff built, that would probably be kind of cool. Let's make sure you're also prioritized by haulers, because we need extract to do the tattooing. So anything else easy well-being wise that we could grab? I don't fancy building the carousel at the moment. Let's have a little look. Chestnuts would be good, obviously. Books. We have paper production, don't we? Yeah. Yes. Printing press. Yeah, see? We'll make you some books, see? There we go. Storage. Let's do a bit of both. Paper, obtain. Books, supply. Lovely job. All right, how are we looking? Have and drought approaching. Droughts are fine. So how are we looking now for building this stuff? We are, in fact, building that stuff. Good stuff. So that's all working. That food's growing now. This is doing its thing. Can they demolish that? That would be good. Right, let's crack on again. I'm pleased they can actually reach that, because that would have been annoying. It means we can get the stairs in as well before they actually get rid of that. Let's have a quick look at the old aquatic farm and see what's going on, shall we? So we have no spadadoc. We have some cattail roots and some cattail flowers they've made into the cattail crackers. So I think we want to get more spadadoc planted. So, and we've got room to plant more of it. So let's do that. We can get more of that growing. I guess actually, because we are at the point where we don't need, we actually have issues with how much water we have. We can get rid of those for whatever benefit they had. That'll be good. This is going in. And actually, they're doing quite well in getting that built. Awesome. It's annoying that actually this is slightly off center, but actually you won't notice once it's sealed, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that will be visible once it's all done and dusted. I think it'll be fine. All right, let's grab you and put you there, and then once they're built, hopefully they can farm a bit more of this and maybe demolish a few of these things to make a bit more space. That will be grand. So food-wise, we're looking pretty good. Water-wise, we're looking pretty good. Bad water-wise, do we want more storage? I think we're okay. We've got quite a lot of extract as well, but we're going to start using extract, so that's good. And we've got these guys in now. These probably want to be prioritized by haulers, so we'll get that going on. Awesome. All right, let's have a little peek down here, see how these are doing as we bounce around between a few different projects. Right, so you're in. We need to put you, we need to get rid of you, put you there. Un momento, folks. Keybinds. And believe. You, for you can't believe. It's not. Beef boom. It's back, folks. It's back. Yeah. See if we can get this guy in. Guess it's quite a trek for them, and it's the night time, so we'll come back to that. Yeah, it's kind of weird to be in the position where we're holding back the tides. We are. Who was it? God, my brain is mush tonight. Why are you even here? Why are we all here? Anyway, let's get this done. Then I think we want to start looking at how we bring the others in, and then we'll have one single column that goes up. So that's sorted. So let's get rid of the ladder stack, because that'll get us back all of the resources from that. Awesome. So that should be a sealed stack all the way to the top. So then we want to think about how we get the water from here across to here. So let's if we put out, not like that. You haven't even bought me a drink. And I don't drink, so, you know, well, at least not alcohol. Obviously, I need to drink. Hydration is important. So pedantic. Yeah, so if we do that, and put that little tongue on the edge there, we can do that. And that'll let us create a little viaduct, and we can then do that and that. I'm going to pause that one, and then impermeable floor that. I'm not going to impermeable floor this piece because I want the water to be able to flow through at the moment. And then what we want to do, we might not want to close that. It's quite low volume or low strength water. So I'm wondering if can I get one further out? on here. Oh, that's annoying. Bear with me, folks. This is unplanned, as always. If we did that, that would work. That would work. So we could do something like that. We would need a side, a here. But I think it's going to let me do that. And I think that is going to let me do that. Nailed it. So we can do maybe we'll get rid of that piece. Yeah, because we can build those from that end, can't we? Yeah. Let's get rid of you. Get rid of you. In your. Put those. Yeah. Something like that. And then impermeable floor through there. Sweet. I think that'll work. Come on, game. Come on, game. Don't die on me. Don't you die. Don't you die. Yes. That was a big old lag spike. Didn't like that. But yeah, that should work. We can always seal it if there's a problem with stuff. So yeah, we like that. We like that. So that's number uno. Dos. It probably makes sense. At the very least, I mean, we've got planks. They're there. They're not that far away, are they? We've got resources relatively close. Probably wouldn't hurt to have metal storage as well. There we go. That probably wouldn't hurt. We have books. We can have educated beavers. Let's prioritize that as well. Awesome. Good stuff, beavers. Good stuff. He's hammering. That's very cool. Right. So now they can get down here and we can plant some more crops if we need to. Which is great. All going to some kind of plan, I guess. Let's jump down here again. There we go. Right. Let's detonate that out. There we go. Just going to check that hasn't screwed anything up. Nope, it's just created a little surge of water, which is fine. I was nervous for a moment there. New well-being height of 31, which is nice. Get you, put you there. So then once we've got this kind of level base, we're going to have to come in and do a whole lot of tunneling. because this kind of random shape doesn't really work either. So probably what we're going to want to do is come across like so. Actually, probably not. Let's not do that yet. Let's just get this placed. So let's give it some priority. Good job, little diver dude. And then detonate you. Detonate you. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. And then that gives us that area. But what I want to do is essentially kind of even this out now so that it's all a uniform shape. So that involves tunneling and kind of backfilling with platforms. So we're gonna tunnel you out. Tunnel out to there. Drop down. Tunnel out to there. Yep. So you can't be tunneled out because of that. So let's grab some double platforms. Put them in there. Tunnel you out. Yes. Yep, that's fine. Tunnel you out. Find the gaps. Mind the gaps. Yep, get you. Tunnel you out. You. Tunnel you out. And I guess, actually, what we could do is we could work smarter up. We could tunnel that layer out and then use explosives. Explosives help control the fun, folks. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I guess we need to get up to that level to be able to do that, don't we? So let's put in a layer like that. Let's put in one of them. Let's put in you. Let's put in a path. Let's put in path through there and see how that works. I think there's going to be some we can't get to, but if we can get to most of it, we can then bring the beavers up to the rest of it. I'm going to put in a ladder here so we can get rid of this blockage, which shouldn't cause us any problems as well. He says not at all confidently, but you know, let's see how we get on, folks. So actually, we're going to watch them do this just in case there are any challenges and opportunities. And by that, I mean, in case anything goes wrong. So can we run on super fast speed to do this? We can. Awesome. I'm just a little bit nervous that something's going to go horribly wrong. But it doesn't seem to be, so that's quite nice. Can they reach those? They can. Yep, awesome. So I think then we want to place... let's delete you. Delete you. Delete you. Delete you. And basically anywhere we didn't need to build a support. And put in double dynamite. There we go. And that should give us our stage 1, which is going to be kind of the holding tank. So this is where water's going to come in too. We're going to need to build a slightly different entrance to it. And we're going to need to change some things as well. So, but bear with me. You know the deal. I don't plan all of this. I have a rough vision for what I want this to be, but not a definite plan. So yeah, you can be unpaused now because we built this from a different direction in the end, which is fine. I'm going to leave that open still for now, and let's make our way to one of the other areas. So we'll do something very similar. We are going to need to get over to this, I guess, again. So let's do something very similar. So let's put that in. Let's grab your. Yeah, you'll do. A platform there. Grab the stairs. Grab a bunch of paths. Run the paths, and that'll let them build the dirt. So we'll come back to that in an moment. Let's come in here again. Right, so you can't believe he's found that bloody button again and he's making that awful joke. I missed one. Can they reach it? They can. Awesome. Let's not blow any more stuff up until we've placed this. Yep. We're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know if we need that levee there, but we'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now because I'm not very confident about deleting it. Our bad water's got very low, but you know, I guess because we're in a drought. You guys work harder. It's not the end of the world, you know. It'll be okay. Please build that. We've got explosives. We must have extract because we had bloody loads of it. So, you know, there we go. Right. Boom, boom, boom. And then we should, oh, we've got, so you need to be dealt with. But I should be able to do that from ground level actually. So let's delete all of this. I didn't like the way that jumped up. Screw it. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Delete you. So it's not that big a cabinet. It shouldn't be causing problems. Get rid of you. This is going to get tricky. It's going to get tricky because we need it to function in the same way still. Whilst prepping it for the new way of working. So yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky. Actually, I'm gonna alter the way I'm designing it, I think. Yeah, I'm going to change the way I'm designing this. So we are going to come over here. Here. You, yep, you'll do. What's the way to do this? Too tired to think about how I want to do this. Tiling, all right, not there. I guess we could do there because we could stop this back up, couldn't we? Yeah. So actually we don't want to put you in if we're going to make it the same size, and that makes tunneling easier. It doesn't because I can't see it. So okay, right. There. Well, I guess it does in a way. Yeah. So let's do that. That will open that there, and then we do you, not you, and you, and then more tunnels. And yes, I do understand that I could do this more efficiently with I need to come back to there, with explosives probably. Just too tired to think about planning it out today. So, you know, if that bothers you, I don't know, go watch a more mentally with it Timberborn creator. I'm not precious about this stuff, folks. I make the videos that I make. If you don't like them, you do not have to watch them. You know? There's the drought over there. Right, that's all in. So we now want to crack you open. I'm going to want a throttling valve there. We're going to want some 6x overhangs there. I guess I've just realised, no, because that's sealed, isn't it? So it's not going to be a problem. I thought we had a potential issuette on our hands, but that will be sealed, won't it? So it's not an issuette. And then if we come over here, I've got plenty of length, sir. Never mind the length. Check the width on that. So if we do you, can I do it with that? Ideally, I'd like to come out to there. I reckon I can get a terrain block in there. I can. So that I don't particularly like, but I think we can do that. I think that gives us enough of a platform. So we can do there. There. That's not going to work very well. There. 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 It's not super slick, but it'll do a job, you know? It'll do a job. And honestly, that's all we need it to do. We can do that. And they can build a bunch of that. It will do the job it needs to do, which is to aggregate the water towards the center. Right, so we've got things are happening. We need some more path to allow more things to happen. Did I not tell them to tunnel that out? I guess I didn't. So we will need... Oh, you're not going to let me delete that, are you? Let's force the deletion of you. Let's put in a ladder. Then let's put a platform there, and then we can put back the tunnel there. And that should let us build all of it, I believe. Path. Bosh. Yeah. So what we're going to have, and this, so the reason that I was thinking about doing this a slightly different way, and I'm 50-50 on which way I want to do this at the moment. The water going in is relatively uncontaminated. And so my thought was we would essentially pause it here, or hold it here, until we could remove all of the contamination, because it's only coming in at like few percent contaminated. I mean, by the time it gets to here, it's what, 2%. So my thought was we have it come into here with a fill valve, and then have some mechanical pumps pump out the bad water. The idea that I momentarily switched to, but I'm thinking about switching back on, was we have the water come into here and we pump all of the good out. But there's so much more good than bad that it still makes sense to me to pump the bad out. And we just have the bad water come into here. And then either we pump it out or whatever. I'm still thinking that might be the more sensible option. Now, what I'm thinking is that we might want to keep this working so that there's water to this depth. I think we need to tunnel this out to one level deeper. So we'll need to enable that, we'll need to fill this up with platforms, and then tunnel above it to here. Yeah, tunnel all of that out. Then we move the fill point up to here. So we also tunnel that out. And then I guess what we can do is, if we're tunneling that out, we can then put that there, and then we can just go straight in here. Yeah, put a fill valve here. Use the fill valve to keep this full enough to have everything flowing into here still. But we then just use a contamination sensor to turn this on or off, essentially. And then just try and have enough mechanical pumps that it can always run. Is the goal. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about how we do this, and then we can get rid of all of these bad water pumps. And what we'll do is, in this chamber, we'll just have to make this big enough to store essentially all of the bad water that we're pulling out at the moment, and have it go to some bad water pumps. Yeah. That's my thought for how that's going to work. The water's dropped even more. Which sucks. We are letting even more water back into the system. So, and we've got that built. So we've got all of the interior sources open bar one now. So, you know, we've only got the half strength source in the middle block now, and some of these outside sources. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, because we've got these four running full speed now. So the middle one's blocked. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of the smallest ones. So really not that much. Certainly at a point where before it was causing us issues. Which is interesting. Right, we can recover these resources now. Because we do need planks. We have burnt through our plank supply. I'm wondering if we put an irrigation pond up here until we get things more sorted. I feel like that might not be a bad idea with how things are going. And maybe here too. Here too, fourth. Henceforth, going forwards. How thick is that dirt? Here to a fourth, hence going forward. I think we're going to do that. I never thought I'd see the day that I needed to do that. And I put it in exactly the wrong place. Because that's not going to work, is it? Guess we'll put that back and do that. Right, how are we looking down here? I am going to stop in a minute. I have no idea how long this episode is. And do you know what? Don't care. Right, so we can recover all of your, which is cool. Let's put a path in so they can reach all of those as well. So they've built all of those and they are now starting to do that process. And again, we'll be able to recover a whole bunch of that as well. I guess let's let them finish this stuff before we start blocking that in. Yeah. Let's do that. Guessing, yeah, they can't get to that. Yeah. I thought that might be a problem. I'm testing out again. I think I've used it once before. The covering the mirror in the hotel. I don't know if it's made a difference or not. All right. I guess let's also plan out. We're going to have to move the fill valve on this one for this, but we can go straight there. It's annoying that that is so close, but yet so far. But can we can if you're going to let me, you're going to be nice. I think we can make this work, maybe, mayhaps. Let's rip you out. So let's put our throttling valve there. Levies to there, levy there, levies there. Yeah, that works. Grab you, put you there, grab you, put you there. If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid, folks. Remember, I mean, what we could do actually, we could be even smarter. Even smarter and combine them. And in that case, can I do this with even less? You're a 6, aren't you? If I could get that one longer. Can I move you by 1? No. Oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. Because what I need to do is fill you in. Get you there, you there, you there. I need 1 levy there. 1 lone hovering levy. Is this going to be too janky? Is this going to be too janky? One second, folks. I think this is going to be the last movement of the day. How much does that offend you all? And you do realize that if the answer's a lot, I really, really like it. I like it a lot. I do actually quite like that. That to me says like elite level beaver engineering. So it's staying whether you like it or not. Right, you, and then no, fluid dump, Bosch. You, and then fluid dump. Actually, I guess we need to put the fluid dump here out on a platform. And Bosch. There we go. Just until things get a little bit better. And the water is rising, which is good, but, you know, things could be better. That's all getting built, which is awesome. Let's give them a bit more path. But yeah, I think you get the idea of what I've got planned for this filter system. Hopefully you have. Hopefully I've explained it sufficiently. the challenge that we're going to have is building it whilst it's active and underwater and needs to be semi-sealed. You know, minor things. So the good thing is that we can build most of it with it not sealed, I think. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. It is kind of a challenge that it's our primary water source currently. But yeah, we'll work it out, folks. We do, you know. We will work it out. And we've got 3 of these connected in, which is pretty cool. Got 1 more to go. I will look at that next time because I am kind of tired. I did also have the suggestion. In fact, let's do that. Let's make you dirt. Let's empty you. Get you out of the way. Because we'll get a bunch of plantable land back then. I mean, I guess the same with these. There's no point in these being there when we've got those big storages right next door. So, yeah. I mean, you could say the same for these as well. We should move these. But we haven't. I'm tempted to not bother, actually, because that is rising. What food do we need to grow? We've got loads of potatoes. We've got loads of wheat. We've got loads of carrots. Let's just throw in some token sunflowers. The water is trying to rise, which is good. Right. That's built, so we can come in here. We can recover all of the platforms. Let's just be careful and make sure we don't destroy anything we actually need. You know? I'd like to not do that. You can go. Cool. That's good. Right. So we've got the chamber built. The 2 chambers. Chambers and chambers. They're a wonderful firm. Wonderful firm. So what we want to do next time is look at setting up the filtration system. Which is basically going to involve removing even more of this, I think. But we'll have a look at that next time. I'm hoping I've left enough space to fit everything in. I think we have. I'm really hoping that like 2 mechanical pumps is enough. If it's not, we'll have an interesting engineering challenge to deal with. You know? It'll be fine. If one of these is not enough, we'll build another one, you know? Or we'll change the landscape a little bit because it's underwater anyway, so no one can see it. You know? Anyway. That is going to be it for today, folks. We've made some progress. We're working towards clean water coming in. We're working towards getting this water out, which is all good stuff, I think. Anyway, that's it for today. As we hit nearly 40 well-being. I will see you all next time.